Hi everybody. I hope you are doing super well today, and in today's video, I'm going to teach you something that we use in every sentences, singular or plural. Alright, let's start with the first part, which is adding an S. As it's mentioned in the title, the most general rule to form a plural from singular is to add an S at the end of the word. As an example,
Un ami, des amis.
So we can see that we add an S at the end of the word, and also that we change the determining article from the singular one to the plural one. If you haven't seen it, you can watch the video about determining articles, which is the first grammar video in my channel. Alright, that's all you need to know about the general rule, but there are other rules, other cases, that we are going to cover right now. Another rule that is even easier than the previous one is singular equals plural. But when do you have to use this rule? Well, you have to write plural the same way than singular, when the word ends with an S, an Z, or an X. An example is, a lesson, lessons.
Un cours, des cours.
Another example is,
Un prix, des prix.
pretty simple, right? But wait a minute, there are other rules that you need to know. The next one is about the words that ends with
O, E.
and in this case, we add an X at the end of the word. An example of this is with the word, bird.
Un oiseau, des oiseaux.
Another example is with the word, fire.
Le feu, les feux.
Unfortunately, there are exceptions, and we can see it with the color, blue,
Bleu.
with an S in plural. Also with the word, tire,
Pneu.
in French, in which we add an S in plural. For the exceptions, you have no other options than learning them one by one. The last rule for today's video is, for the words ending with
Al.
Therefore, to form the plural, we replace it by
O.
Newspaper is translated
Un journal.
in French, and if you are speaking about newspapers, you will say,
Des journaux.
as mentioned previously. Again, unfortunately, there are some counterexamples, and here is the first one.
Le carnaval, les carnavals.
So in this case, we add an S at the end of the word. Another one is,
Le festival, les festivals.
the last counterexample is,
Le bal, les bals.
I hope I've been clear, explaining you those 4 rules about singular and plural. But if it's not the case, I created a summary just for you to see all the rules in your screen. How do you find the plural of a word? Well, as we have seen, it depends on how it ends. First option, the word ends with an S, an X, or an Z. In this case, the word remains the same in plural. I gave you the example with the word price in French. Second option is the words ending by
O, E.
in singular. Here is a bit more complex, because there are exceptions. Therefore, if it's an exception, we add an S at the end of the word. And if it's not an exception, you add the letter X at the end of the word, and there you have the plural. Next one is the singular words ending by
Al.
and it's an exception, you also add an S at the end of the word. It's the same as the exceptions for words ending by
O, E.
If it's not an exception, the plural of this word's ending is
O.
Last one, and the most common one, is that you add an S. Alright, are you ready for the exercises? I hope you didn't say no. Because you are going to do exercises, right now. So, what you have to do is to tell me whether the plural is right or not, and also think of the reason why it's right or wrong. So, what do you think? The plural is with an S, or not? It's wrong, and the reason why it's wrong is because the words ending with a Z remain the same in plural. Therefore the plural of
gaz,
is written and pronounced the same way in singular and in plural. What about
des berceaux,
is this plural correct? It's right, because we have seen that for the words ending by
o, e,
we add an X at the end. There are some exceptions that you have to learn, and in this case we add an S. Next one is
des vers bleus,
I know it's a bit more complex, because there are two words to verify. According to you, is there any mistakes?
vert,
In plural is well written, because it's part of the general rule, but the word
bleu,
is not correct, because we have seen in the video that it's one of the exceptions. It's okay if you haven't memorized it, because there were a lot of information. Just try to memorize the pattern in order to know what are the options you have. There you can see the correct sentence with an S instead of an X. What do you think about?
les animaux,
Is that correct? It's wrong, because we add an S only for exceptions. Here you can see the correct way to write it.
les animaux,
And we finish the video with,
une information, des informations.
do you think it's correct? You might have said that it's wrong, because in English there is no plural for information, but in French there is a plural, and we write like this, with an S at the end. Alright. So, it's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if it's the case, you can press the like button, subscribe to receive notifications when I post new videos, and also share this video with people interested in learning French. Thank you for watching. See you soon.